All right, so as we continue with the end time watch, part three, we need to again hear the word of God. And last time we read Mark 13. So we are going to continue Mark 13 and read. All right, from all right, I'll start from 13 to 23. Let me just read that. Maybe 24, 23, all right. Mark 13, 13 to 23. Let us stand to hear the message. It says, and ye shall be hated. This is the Lord Jesus Christ speaking. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains, and let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And let him, verse 16, and let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. 17. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. 18. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. 19. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which God created unto this time, neither shall be. 20. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh shall be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. 21. And then, if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Christ, or Lo, he is there, believe him not. For 22, for false Christs and false prophets shall rise, and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. 23, but take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. Amen. So, what are we talking about when we have all of this information? And when we started verse 13, we said, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. I think we, already explained that, but just a quick refresher. Here, the Lord Jesus Christ is saying that those who are true Christians are going to be hated because they believe on him. And we already said it, and that Christ wants to ensure that those who say they are Christians, those who say they are believers, don't get frustrated when things become hot, when they are persecuted, when they are hated, when they are not allowed in the society, in the community, when they are not allowed to do what they need to do because they are Christians and they are true Christians. But Christ is saying that remain faithful, endure unto the end, so that you will remain, you know, my apostles, my followers, my disciples, and that is what we need to do. We have to remain faithful when people are saying that, oh, this person is a Christian, he doesn't do it, and they say, let's force him to do it. But Christ says we need to remain faithful. Verse 14, but when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, you know, then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. So we the summary that I gave at the beginning is, here being expanded, and that is when the Lord Jesus Christ is saying that, remember what we said is that before the Lord Jesus Christ came, that is 168 BC, this thing happened. The temple was defiled. And so if the Lord Jesus Christ is saying again that, here, remember what Daniel wrote, that when this thing happened, so we know that the temple, in 70 AD, after the Lord Jesus Christ went, the temple was destroyed. Of course, when it was destroyed, they didn't set up a new, temple in its place and provide the abomination of desolation. But Christ is giving us a reference that the same thing that happened in BC 168, and the same thing will be happening at the end of the age, which is the time that the Antichrist will come. And so when Antiochus, Anti, Ochus, and was ruling over Syria and Israel. What he did, and that was in that time, 168 BC. But Christ is saying that we should watch. And so in this case, where he's saying that he who is in Judea, run away and go into the mountains, and he's telling them that don't come back because everywhere would already, things will be happening, and so you have to just remain where you are or hide away and don't come back, because if you come back, you are going to be destroyed. And so again, in 2 Thessalonians 2, 2 to 4, 2 just for brother, please read 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4.
2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4. Who opposite and exalted him, served above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Amen.
Amen. So we can see from what we just heard that is that, okay, all right. So let's I'll add verse 3 to it. Let's do verse 3 also.
In 2 Thessalonians verse 3.
Yes, 3 and.
Okay. Let no man deceive you by any means. There come a falling away first, and the man of sin being revealed, the son of perdition.
All right. So, amen. So, what is being prophesied here? This is the time of the Lord Jesus Christ saying, talking about the Antichrist. So again, what we heard in the 14th verse, and it's talking about the Antichrist who will come at the end of the age, and that's why we say end time. Verse 3, and it said, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that that man of sin, that is the Antichrist, be revealed. When he is revealed, everybody will know because there will be nowhere to hide. You cannot. Right now, we have people, United Nations, we have people representing each country, and then you have the Secretary General, who is the head of all the United Nations. There's going to be a time when one person will rise out of all the nations and say, now, no, well, you are going to worship me. You are not going to worship anybody else. You are going to be controlled. Your mind is going to be controlled. You are only going to worship me, and I'm only going to set up, an image, and that image you have to worship that image, and you cannot buy, you cannot sell, you cannot do anything. You have to follow what I say. So, and Christ here is saying, but again, the Apostle Paul is telling us what is being said that except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So we can see that this man has a very, very abominable name, and the son of perdition, which means he is going to spend eternity in the lake of fire in hell. Verse 4, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God. That person is going to come and say, I am God. You have to worship me. It is not yet time. It has not happened. So we remember that in the Antiochus, he only told them to worship Zeus and also to use pigs to defile the temple and all of that's different. But somebody is going to come next, and that is why Christians must be watching and praying that they don't remain in this world. When that happens, that's when Christ will come first to take away, to rapture the Christians who have been genuine, who have been true, who have not been mixed multitude, who have not been compromising the truth of God, who have been faithful to God. Those will be removed. True Christians will be removed. When they are removed, then those who are half and half will remain. Those who are saying, well, oh, I will go to church sometime, I will serve God sometime, maybe on Christmas Day I will go and worship, and on Easter I will go. They go twice in a year. That is not enough. So God is saying that that man of perdition, who say he's God, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, seated in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Again, this is talking about the future. It's going to happen. And so we are being warned. We read it last week, but maybe we should read some part of it again so that we can see what is really being talked about. Because when that happens, there will be no escape. And that's why we have to prepare ourselves now. In the time of Daniel, of course, the Lord Jesus Christ was referencing Daniel. He wanted people to remember that, see what happened in Daniel's prophecy, because if he referenced Daniel, then you can see that he is really, really pointing us to it. So let me sort of go. I think we've read it before because it's going to take too much time. Okay, I will just maybe read a little bit of it and then we'll go because that's. All right, I'll read. Let's stand to hear what this is because it will help us again. Revelation 13 and starting from 11th verse. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, speak like the devil, And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth, which means the whole world, and them which dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. When you say in the sight of men, it means inside of everybody. 14. And deceiveth them that, you see the word deceiveth, them that dwell on the earth, by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. 16. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. 17. And that no man or woman or children or adult might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and 666. Amen. So, what we are being warned about is that once you know the faith you believe in and you remain faithful to the faith, and God is going to give you a crown of life, eternal crown of life.